Today I'm going to talk to you about Rogers' 5 factors of successful product diffusion. I might be thinking, what is successful product diffusion? Well, what I mean by that is, if a company sells a product, will it be profitable? Is it something that people are going to go out and buy? Now, there's a lot of theories out there right now on how specifically a product will diffuse within the marketplace. Some people say if a product is cheaper than its competition by a certain percentage, that it will be successfully adopted. Some people say if a certain percentage of potential consumers are talking about it, that it will get adopted. One of the most successful, however, predictors of successful product diffusion is Rogers' 5 factors of product diffusion. Now, my goal today is to talk to you about specifically what those 5 factors are, and hopefully you remember them, but maybe you won't, we'll see. And give you 2 case studies, or 2 specific examples, one successful, a Prius, and one unsuccessful example, the Segway. And we're going to look at the Rogers 5 factors and see if we could have predicted whether or not they would have been successful based on just looking at Rogers' 5 factors. So let's talk about what the 5 factors are, for starters. I remember it by RCCTO. Okay, so the first one is relative advantage. Does the product provide a relative advantage over its competition in the marketplace? The second one is compatibility. Is the product compatible with our existing values and beliefs for that specific market? The third one is complexity. How easy is this product to use? Is this something I can pick up and learn in a few minutes like an iPhone? Or is it something that I have to read a thick manual for 2 to 3 hours just to learn how to turn it on? I'm sure we've all been there with something at one point or another in our lives. The fourth one is trialability. Where can I go to test this product? Is it close? Can I go down the block and get my hands on it and mess around with it for a little while? Or do I have to drive across the state and pay hundreds of dollars just to test it out? And then the fifth one is observability. Do I see this product when I'm driving home? Are friends talking about it on social media? Is it something that I see when I go to the mall? So just to recap what the 5 factors are, and remember them, you can try and apply them around the holidays when you see a million products on TV to figure out if they'll go anywhere or not. The first one is relative advantage. Second one is compatibility. Third one is complexity. Fourth one is trialability. And then the last one is observability. So now that we've made clear what the specific 5 factors that Roger has delineated are, we're going to look at 2 case studies. The first one is a Prius, which was obviously very successful, one of the most successful cars in the last decade. And look at how it was successful. Could we have predicted it? And the answer is yes. Does it provide the relative advantage? Absolutely it does. It's one of the cheapest cars, with the 5-year total cost to own, one of the cheapest cars on the market today. The second one, compatibility. Is it compatible with existing values and beliefs for buying a car? Well, what's one of the first things you look at when you buy a car? Fuel efficiency. That's something, hopefully you look at that, unless you just live in Texas and you want a big pickup truck, which is understandable. But usually fuel efficiency is something you look at, and the Prius has that. That's what I'm talking about when I say compatibility. Third one is complexity. Is it easy to use? Do I have to change my lifestyle to use it? With a Prius, you just do the same thing you would with a normal car you've been driving for the last 20 years. Not like a Tesla where you can only drive within 200 miles and you have to recharge it, or you have to wait 8 hours to charge it. You just drive it the same way you normally would, and you get the reward of high fuel efficiency. So complexity is not an issue for the Prius. And then the last 2, trialability. Is it easy to test out a Prius? Well, most of America lives within a relatively short distance to a Toyota dealership, and you can go there, sit in a bunch of different colors, and test drive one for free. And then the last one is observability. Do you see Priuses when you're driving home? I challenge you to drive home today and not see a Prius. They're almost annoying how many of them there are. So it's easy to see that, could we have predicted that the Prius would have been successful? Absolutely, because it meets the 5 factors of product diffusion. Now let's look at something that's unsuccessful, the Segway. And some of you might be saying, well, Dom, I think a Segway, those are successful, I've seen those, but they initially said in 2000 that they would sell 100,000 Segways in the first 12 months. And they only sold 50,000 in 8 years. So I don't know about you, but I think that's not a successful product. But could we have predicted that using Rogers' 5 factors of product diffusion? And the answer is yes. Does it provide a relative advantage over other types of transportation like walking or biking? Well, the answer is no, because if I'm driving somewhere on my Segway and it runs out of battery, I have to carry a 100-pound Segway around. What if I run into stairs? What if I come in an area where there's a lot of pedestrians? I can't use it. What about the second one, compatibility? Is it compatible with my existing values and beliefs for individual travel? And the answer for that is also no, because once again, I should have to plan my route around the mode of transportation that I'm using, which you have to do with the Segway. And the third one, complexity. Now that's one of the 5 factors that the Segway does have going for it, is it's very easy to use. I don't know if anybody's ever driven one, but you can really become a master in a few minutes. You just shift your weight forward or backward and you turn little handles, and it's very easy to become a master within a few minutes. So that's one of the 5 factors that it does have, but it doesn't meet all 5 factors, it just has that one. But that's an important point, is it doesn't have to meet, it can meet 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or 4, but if it doesn't meet these 5 factors, I can almost guarantee you that you find a product that isn't going to diffuse successfully. And then the last 2, trialability and observability. When's the last time that you saw a Segway? Maybe you were in a city a few months ago, a big town with around tourist traps. It's the only place you see them. So it's not like a Prius where I'm driving home and I'm running into 12 of them. So having discussed what the 5 factors are, relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability, you can really figure out beforehand whether a product will be successful or not. And my challenge to you is, when you're watching TV over the course of the next couple weeks and you see all the new gizmos and gadgets come on for the holidays trying to get you to buy this or that, and you might be thinking, well, I don't know, is this something that I'm going to see in a few years, or is this going to die? Well, I challenge you to use the 5 factors of relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability, and you'll find out for yourself. I'm Toastmaster.